I mentioned at the beginning of this course that Bourne shell scripts can be used as CGI scripts in web programming. Well, in this module I give you the very briefest of introductions as to how to do that. Any of the scripts that we create during the remainder of this course could be turned into CGI scripts without too much drama, but it would make a big difference if you knew how to code in HTML. If you don't know how to code in HTML, then I really wouldn't bother going down the CGI scripting road just yet. Anyway, a brief introduction. A CGI program is a program that is used to provide interactivity, automation, or database connectivity to a website. In other words, you can make your website do something as opposed to just present information. Or alternatively, the data that you are presenting on your website can be coming from a database rather than just from static HTML files. Any type of program can be a CGI program, something that you've compiled from C, for example. It could be a Perl script, or it could be a Bourne shell script, any type of program. Now, because this is a Bourne shell script course, we'll just briefly have a look at how you can make a Bourne shell script act as a CGI script. To make it do that, it must have the following attributes. It must be executable. Well, that's pretty ordinary and understandable. It must have a valid script interpreter specified in the very first line of the file. Now, we just looked at that, so it absolutely must have that. You can't get away with not putting that in a CGI script. And any output produced by the script, in other words, anything that would ordinarily go to the terminal, to the screen, must be recognized as a valid HTTP stream. Now, what this essentially means is that the output must begin with a line that looks like the following: content-type, space, and then whatever content type you're attempting to produce. Whether you're attempting to produce HTML or just regular text is completely up to you, but you must put that at the beginning of your standard output. So I'll just show you a brief example of that, and then you can hopefully see how this all hangs together. This shell account that I've been using with my internet service provider is indeed the shell account of my website. And my website has a CGI bin folder where all my CGI programs reside. Now, in there is a file called do_ls, which is a shell script. It's a very, very simple shell script. It looks like this. The very first line is, of course, my specification that this is a Bourne shell script, because the interpreter is /bin/sh. Now, the output that this produces is a content type of plain text. So it's not producing HTML, it's just producing regular text. And those two echo statements are required for this to be a program that produces a valid HTTP stream. And basically they say that everything that follows is just going to be treated by the browser that views this output as plain text. Now, all this program actually does is it does a listing of the bin directory, the /bin directory, not my personal one, but the system-wide bin directory. So theoretically, if we run this via a browser, we'll just get in the browser a listing of the bin directory. Let's have a look at how we might go about doing that. Now, here is a very, very simple web page that I've created in order to test that particular script. It just has one button on it called Run Script, and let's have a look at the HTML source code to see what is going to happen when I click on that button. This is the HTML source code for that page, and all it's going to do is, here's the form involved. If you don't know what a form is, then you probably shouldn't be listening to this particular module. Here's the form. The action for the form is to run the mvirtue CGI bin do_ls script. Now, that's the script we just looked at just a moment ago, which is here. There's the do_ls script. And this form, when I click on the submit button down here to run the script, it will post to the HTTP CGI bin do_ls script. So that's all that's going to happen. It's very, very simple. Simple, I guess, if you know HTML and know what a form is. But let's have a look at that actually running. I'll now click on that, run the script, and this is the output of the script. The CGI bin do_ls script produce this output, and this output is of course a listing of the /bin directory on that particular Unix system. So the bottom line is that basically any Unix shell script can be converted to a CGI script by adding the following lines to the top of the script. The script interpreter and then the content type line. That could be text/HTML instead of text plain if you actually wanted to create an HTML file. And you've also got to keep in mind that such shell scripts will not be interactive. You will not be able to do any reading from standard input. You'll only be able to produce output. With that in mind, good luck with your CGI web programming.